back, I didn't have to worry about all that dragging up that hill. I got in the bus with no problem. So it was most appreciative that my dad told me something and I actually listened. So, kids, listen to your parents. They actually might know what they're talking about sometimes. Sometimes. Uh, most of the time. Yeah. You know. Anyway, these frames have nothing in them. You know, back in the day, they didn't have those special coated lenses on the camera, which would not allow any reflection, even if you have glasses on. But back then, this was an easy fix for that. Just put glasses on with no lenses on it. And I was like, why do I have to wear these? Well, you're a sign that you have glasses on. I'm like, yes. Well, this is your uniform. Oh, now, mind you, these are pretty. These this frame I can get with. I would actually wear this frame today. But this is not what they give you when you go to basic. These uh the frames they give you are some thick brownish looking, like that's what they call them, birth controls, because when you have them on, there's nobody that wants to, wants you to impregnate them. They're birth controls. They are thick, they are big and clunky. That's why they can make it through war, because they do not break. um the cunt hat, a hat. I didn't say cunt hat. I mean hat. Um, and this uniform thing, it's a dickie. It's not even. I'm not even in a uniform. We just got there. I wasn't even assigned a uniform yet. We had nothing but hopes and dreams. So this thing just sits on and straps on and is just all one piece. This tie, this collar, and this uniform top is all connected and is strapped in the back. I said, look good. Look like I was in uniform, but no, that's just a piece of fabric I'm having on. And I have, well, first of all, they didn't have to shave my face because I just had to pull one hair on my chin. That's it. This is actually the gist of how much hair grows on me. So this didn't have to be done. They did definitely shave my head. After they asked me what I want, I said a little, keep it close with a fade, and then he goes and balds me, and I'm sitting there confused of why did you ask me if you was gonna? But I guess that's their thing to get off and have fun with. Anyway, got a couple more things to talk about. I gotta roll our intro because it's gonna be silly, right? It's like, what the hell is this? So let me roll this right quick, and I'll be back in a second so we can start this thing, right? So we can get down to the nitty gritty real quick and get you out of here. Let's do this. What's up, my peoples? Like I told you, this is your boy Tommy D, and you are here on Fire Black Media, watching Fire Black Podcast with your boy, me, Tommy D. And I appreciate you being here. But you can also come visit us on fireblackpodcast.com. That's fireblackpodcast.com. Also, you can visit us on Fire Black Podcast and follow us on Facebook, Fire Black Podcast, Instagram, Fire Black Podcast, Twitter, Fire Black Pod CA1. That's Fire Black Pod CA1. Also, our podcast is on all the main places: Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Just go and check us out. Go and have fun, whatever, right? Yeah, yeah, well, whatever. Fuck need you. Anyway, so let's talk about what's been going on in the world, right? What's been happening? Um, where should we begin? There's a lot going on. Let's we'll pick on a couple of stories today and touch on them real quick and get you out of here. Travis Scott. What do you think about this? I find this fascinating. What happened there? Not the tragedy of eight people. I think it's nine now. I think a young girl or young, I think it was a young girl recently died from her injury. She was in the hospital and critical. I think there's another young person, 8, 9 years old. First of all, I have one question, and being a parent, I am kind of lost. Um, would you take, you know, it, did you not do research on Travis Scott and his concerts? One, two, what the hell is there an 8, 9 year old in critical condition? You took an 8 or 9 year old to a Travis Scott uh, concert? You know, young people, drugs, mosh pits. Like it, it. I don't know. It didn't seem appropriate. 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds. It just. It. I don't know. I just don't get. I mean, you're getting borderline when you say 14, 15, maybe, but there's a 8 or 9 year old in a hospital in critical. Really? Not even 10? You took him to a Travis Scott mosh pit, crazy 50,000 people jumping around and drugs and alcohol, and I I don't get it. That's the one confusing thing is it clearly. First of all, here's my point, and hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. Hold on, let me bring me up. If a young kid, 8, 9 year old, can't go buy a movie ticket, right? An 8, 9 year old can't buy certain video games. Why is it that an 8 or 9 year old can go to a concert from the music that he usually has to get permission to buy in a store without his parents? I don't. It just Fanta. It just it's crazy to me that you're. I don't know. It just seems weird to me that you would find it appropriate to have your. I mean, I don't know. It just seems weird that you would it would be okay to do that with your kid. Um, I don't know. For me, I just wouldn't do it. I don't know. But I'm not gonna judge the parenting on this one, but I will judge the police, the fire, um, and how they handle this. Well, Tom, how the hell do you know about this? Well, let me tell you. I've been a emergency medical technician for 23 years. Yeah, I know. It's really, really weird. And not to throw out credentials out there, but people do that. I'm not trying to be one of those Facebook people that gives their opinion without saying that there is some sort of expertise in what I'm talking about. I have a master's in emergency management and homeland security. So I can probably dabble into talking about the situation with confidence that I am astonished by how it was handled, and I can speak on a more of a professional level than most people just giving their outside opinion that haven't studied this type of stuff. And the fact that you was going to have 50,000 plus in an open air situation concert. An open air means that it's outside. There's no chairs, no seats, just open. You know, that you didn't have more setup. Now they're trying to blame the Travis Scott, um, Drake, and all the other ones for not ending the concert. Well, ultimately, you can end the concert. You know, they have no power over the police, over the fire department, over the officials. And let's start from the beginning. um, this has to be approved, right? You have to get permits, right, to do something like that. You can't just show up to someone's town and have 50,000 people show up somewhere. You have to have permits for that. So someone approve those permits, right? I mean, that's what happened. Someone had to approve that permit. So let's start there. Who approved this permit with no other plan of saying that there's private medical staff there? Um, and I remember when I was younger, our private ambulance company used to contract with, the local football, pee wee, whatever, and we would post there. But we also had to have the ability to contact local police and local EMS if there was a need for additional services. And, how would you have medical staff there that you didn't have one communication? I saw a video today, and I wish I was able to bring that up to you, but I didn't was able to get a hold of it before we started to do this live. That they show in the front of the stage, right below, there was 3 or 4 police officers that they said they didn't have there. One was actually filming the crowd with his cell phone, and this was supposedly going on after they announced the state of emergency. So these cops were just still standing there. So if trained police officers supposedly didn't notice what was going on in that um, concert, then how the hell are you saying that a rapper should have noticed the danger? Because the professionals seem to not noticed it. Um, Also, when we deal with open air, there has to be some corralling. And what I mean by that there has to be some separation, some buffers put into that open air space, because what will happen? People push forward. How do you stop people pushing forward? You have to have some type of separation. Some gated areas, some cutoffs. You have a little group here and have that fenced off, a little group here, and you keep them separated. Maybe a walkway in between it. You have to have some type of buffers. You maybe have a group with just 100 in this little spot and another little pods, I would say, and that will keep that type of thing from happening that just happened, um, because there's nothing there. Everyone from the back can try to force their way at the front. And then everyone in the front, even the people in between, are getting physically crushed. There's 50,000 people just pushing each other with all the pressure. Then you have some people in the front trying to push back, and the people in the back are pushing in, and it's 50,000 people pushing, crushing one another. And no one thought out of all that was not a way that was a possibility that could happen. And the only thing the fire department and all of them could think of is to blame the Travis Scott for not stopping the concert. You fools. I never seen nothing like that. That they they dropped the ball. They know they did, and their only way of getting back is I agree that he does have some sense of responsibility for this. He should have been aware. He should have had something better in place, for safety. I understand. These people. The purpose of these guys is to make money. They want a whole bunch of people there. That's ticket sales. So that's why it's more important that as city officials, you worry about the safety, because they're not going to worry about the safety too much. They're going to do what's the minimum is required to get that permit. But to make ensure that there's going to be safety, they should have did more. The city officials, the fire department should require, the police department should have had some requirements, and EMS should have had some requirements. There should have been communications already set up. There should have been already staging areas in and around those areas for possible threats. There should have been a lot more done than what was done. But yet, their only comeback now is to say, uh, "Hey, Travis could have stopped it. He could have got on the mic and said, 'Stop, everyone.'" Would that have stopped it once it started going? No, probably not. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, people going to sue. Obviously, they're going to sue the deeper pockets. No one wants to sue the city. Get $10, $10 in tax money. No, they're gonna sue Drake. They're gonna sue Travis. They're gonna sue, the 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 um the place. They're gonna sue everybody that has the deep pockets. Not caring about what the real issue is or who's really at fault. Um, they want to go for the deep pockets. I guess most people would. Who wouldn't, right? But we'll see how it goes. We'll see what's up with that. Um, but it is kind of funny that you know today we're dealing with um police that are um skirting their responsibilities by pretending that they were we were trying to tell him, we warned him. But, well, aren't you the police? Uh, do you're the experts, so y'all just sat by and just let it happen? I don't i don't get it. I don't get it at all. But whatever. um I don't know. Whatever. Crazy, but whatever. um so moving on, let's talk about, I call this, for the past couple of days we've been seeing cases on TV, two separate cases, right? um and I call these the Trayvon Martin effects, right? Everybody remember Trayvon Martin? This was the kid that was the kid, the kid. Let's remember the kid. No matter how much prosecutors, or I mean, defense tried to portray him as some large, scary black man, he was a kid with fucking Skittles in his pocket, right? Around 2012, the man to your left, the wonderful George Zimmerman. Um, this asshole felt that this young boy shouldn't be in his neighborhood and decided to pursue him, stalk him, stalk him, call the police. Police say, stand by, do not follow him. Oh, did I mention that he was on his, community watch, whatever? One of the rules in that community watch was not to carry firearms while doing your community watch. What was he doing? Carrying a firearm while doing his watch. So he sees this young black man. Now, mind you, not doing nothing suspicious, walking, coming out the store with Skittles and I think a juice or something. So he decides to stalk him. We don't know what happened in between, but it got to the point where, which I'm guessing, what I think really happened is George Zimmerman approached Trayvon, probably put his hands on Trayvon. Trayvon defended himself. George, punk ass Zimmerman, pulls out his gun and shoots him, killing Trayvon Martin. So you say, why are you calling this what's happening now in the world a the Trayvon Martin effect? Because if we look at the cases that are going on today, right? Um, We could talk about the case with um, Kyle Rittenhouse. Um, also, the uh, the, um, the other case with um, the father. I mean, the father and the son chased the black man down the street and proceeded to stop him to so-called do a citizen's arrest. Right? Don't know why they felt that. I think it was the Travis McMichael, their uh, family stopped um, Ahmaud I don't say his name wrong. Aubrey, Ahmaud Arbery, sorry, stop him to so-called do a citizen arrest, even though they never told him he was doing a citizen arrest, because not because they saw him do a crime or anything like that. They didn't see anything. They just um, perceived he shouldn't be there. There was something wrong with him being in their neighborhood, right? Kind of sound familiar, right? Um, because it is familiar. Isn't that what um uh whatchamacallit's George Zimmerman's um defense was, right? He was like, well, he seemed like he shouldn't have been there. Like he was looking suspicious. Um he shouldn't have been in that neighborhood. Like this is becoming the new excuse for everything. I mean, we uh, look at Ahmaud Arbery. We look at how we are in society. Now I live in a neighborhood. I don't want nobody that is shouldn't be in my neighborhood that is there. And if I feel someone is suspicious, I feel someone shouldn't be there. I'm gonna call the police. I'm it's not racist, right? To pick up the phone and call the police. Especially when you don't have um any real um proof that they did anything or that person did anything wrong. You just feel that you never seen them in your neighborhood before. Um, um, and you kind of feel uncomfortable, right? You can sit there and say, I'm not comfortable with uh someone that shouldn't be in my neighborhood right now. I never seen them before. um this is I just want to make sure that that person belongs here. They acting strange. I mean, say it. I mean, but this goes a little bit step further than having somebody strange in your neighborhood, right? um we're talking about, let me give you the jokers. Here's the three jokers here. The ones that wanted to pull over Ahmaud Arbery and decided to, you know, take law into their own hands. So they pull him over and they decide to, you know, uh, stop him, chase him physically down the road in a truck. But could you imagine? I'm running down the street jogging, and then I see a white pickup truck with a Confederate flag in the front, with one guy in the back with a shotgun and one driving, and they're chasing me. And there's another car back behind them chasing me. And you want me to stop? Really? I'm what? I mean, what good old boy crazy nut I am so into myself that you feel that you have that much authority to sit here and jump on the back of a truck and chase somebody and suggest that he should have stopped? Like he should have complied. Like, what is the case about? Like, that you now had to defend yourself for something you initiated? Sound familiar? It's the Trayvon Martin effect. It is spreading. People starting problems and then turning around and someone loses their lives, and you saying, I had to defend myself when you was the one that started that whole situation. Trayvon would have been alive if George Zimmerman listened to exactly what the police said. Stay there. Do not approach him. They would have been there. They would have identified him. They would have known that his father was down the street. They would have let him go. Ahmaud Arbery would be alive. All you had to do was call the police. You felt he was, something was strange about him. The police would have pulled over, talked to him, found out that he jogs there. Even if they went and got the video of him going in there, they would have found out that he doesn't never took anything, haven't done anything wrong. He would be alive. Oh, let's not forget Kyle Rittenhouse, right? My man, pots and pan. This boy. Now, this one really got me, bugging, right? Because I'm sitting here going, you trying to tell me that you can get a weapon while you're underage, AR-15 that you ain't supposed to have, go into a town that you don't live, patrol like you saying that you're helping people as an EMT when you're not an EMT. I mean, I I don't know the city, I don't know how they operate or the state, but to pretend you're a EMT, I know in New Jersey, is a crime. You can't do it. Can't pretend you're a police officer. Can't pretend you're a firefighter. But yet this kid was walking around with medical supplies and an AR-15 of a weapon he ain't supposed to have, medical supplies he ain't supposed to have. Not saying he's supposed to have the medical supplies, but he wasn't supposed to be doing what he's doing. He couldn't treat nobody. He wasn't authorized to. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He was pretending. Beyond all that, going to a place he ain't supposed to be with a weapon he ain't supposed to have. Now it gets him in a situation where he shoots three people, killing two, and now he's doing the same thing. The Trayvon Martin effect, pretending and saying self-defense. Let me listen to this. Listen to this. This I felt was so disingenuous of this breakdown he had in court, because it's something about a young white boy crying, right? Something about that. A young white boy, young white girl, when they crying on stand, they they look so innocent, so not guilty. And I've seen a lot of breakdowns in different court cases and different things. And this one to me was the most terrible. Like, you just watch.
There was
I gotta push it out. Get a
people
tear.
right there. That's what I Run.
Wait. Let me show you when now on this part. Listen to when a judge asks to take a break. Look at how he jumps out of character. Now, pay attention. He's going to look over to the judge, kind of almost stop midstream of what he's doing to listen to what the judge said, and then goes right back to it. Watch. Pay attention.
Time for our break anyway.
Hold
You
on,
can
hold on. I
just
didn't go
relax for
back
a minute,
far
sir.
enough. Wait for the judge.
We're gonna just take it. Time for
See
our
that?
break
Did y'all
anyway.
see that? That you didn't see that? Look right here. Watch.
We're gonna just take it. Time for
Then
our
right
break
back.
anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir. We're gonna take a break.
Wow, right? Like, wow. Now, you know, I, I don't know. If it was anybody else, if it was a black boy doing that, everybody be on the same bandwagon as I am. That was just disingenuous to me. To me, it was just disingenuous. You know, he was like, "All right, take a break, take a break." It just seemed like, you know, I mean, look, give it to him. I give it to his lawyers. They had him prepared. You know, for a young man, he was very prepared for that cross examination by the prosecutor. You know, he stayed on point. He didn't deter from his answers. I mean, it's enough for definitely enough for a white boy to get off. So I don't expect a guilty plea right here. The worst, a mistrial, maybe you got one person, but the most, no, I think it's acquittal. Maybe I'll be shocked even if they convict him on not having a weapon. I think that's one of the charges. I think it's a misdemeanor though. Let's think about that. Just think about that for a second. That's a misdemeanor in that city. To have a weapon that you're not legally able to have for his age group is a misdemeanor. Like, I don't see that happening in New Jersey. You have a weapon you ain't supposed to have in New Jersey. I don't care what age you are. That shit's gonna come down like a hammer on your ass. No, but that's his lesser charge. The having a weapon, the thing that started the whole scenario, the thing that wouldn't have happened, right? Like, it's like going into a place to rob somebody. You push them, they die. You know, because you was doing a robbery and the person died, you're gonna have this extraneous major murder charge during the conviction, during the time of a felony. Um, you would think that the same principle kind of relates to it. Like, yeah, you might have been self-defending yourself there. You give the argument of self-defense, but it would have never happened if you brought that weapon. If you didn't bring that weapon that you wasn't legally able to have. Like, no, just it's just that is like the lesser of the issue here, right? That he shouldn't have had it, but that's not the problem now. The problem is that they're just arguing the moment that he shot them. Just like the George Zimmerman. They're not arguing all the things he did wrong to get to that point. They're just arguing the moment that he had to so-called defend himself. It's the Trayvon Martin effect. You can do whatever to cause the point where you would have to get to the point to defend yourself, but then all that other stuff is disregarded because they're only talking about the time that you had to defend yourself. So I could be an asshole the whole time, do all of these other stuff, even some illegal stuff, But the only thing that matter is what I had to do to defend myself, even though it wouldn't have happened if I didn't do all the stuff beforehand. It's crazy. It's the Trayvon Martin effect. I coined that because that's what's happening. That's what's happening now, and it's going to continue to happen because once this boy Kyle Rittenhouse gets off, it's going to be all the time. That's going to be the blueprint of what white people, anybody, mostly white people, will do to get off almost anything. They can do almost anything. I can do illegal stuff all the way up to the point and then turn around and say, at that moment, I had to defend myself. Disregard all the stuff I did to get to this point. But when I got to that point, I had to defend myself. And we're going to ignore all of your terrible, bad decisions beforehand. And some of them being illegal, just like, Kyle. Having a gun was illegal to have. You shouldn't have had it. So we disregarded all that. That doesn't matter. What mattered was he had to defend himself at that point. Folks, crazy. We'll see how these things turn out. We'll would definitely be talking about those cases. Um, um, a little maybe on uh one. I definitely think that Kyle Rittenhouse is definitely going to escape the wrath of this. I don't see where he's going to get in trouble for this. I think um, I think he's going to be acquitted. That's bottom line. I think I'm still iffy, very iffy with um, Ahmaud Arbery. One because we have a 11 uh, juror, 11 white, one black. That just doesn't even sound good to start with. And I just don't know how people still have this ancient way of thinking. Like every black man, in those situations where the aggressor, something happened, or I would feel that way. Like, and they're not thinking like, why would you feel that way? Why would you feel that someone jogging down the street? You wouldn't think if it was a pretty white girl, little short swan running down the street. You wouldn't think twice. Guy running down the street. You wouldn't think twice of thinking that, man, why are they in this neighborhood jogging? You wouldn't think twice. So I worry that, even in both of these cases. Now, in both of these cases, I think there's gonna be different things happening. I can see Kyle Rittenhouse getting off, and I can see people being upset about that. Remember the people he killed was three white dudes, which, is a whole nother question of a Black Lives Matter rally. All this stuff going on, people setting, trash cans on fire and stuff. All this stuff was, happening, and yet, you know, we have these white Republican senators sitting there saying, "Oh, these black folks are causing problems." Well, I don't recall any black people sitting there jumping Kyle. It's white folks. That's why you're not sitting there acting all crazy right now. Saying that, oh, he had to defend himself with these crazy black folks. No, it was three white guys sitting there trying to take him down. Um, let you know what happens in these Black Lives Matter. The things that the Republicans say that happen um, at the insurrection or whatever, they have implants or people trying to cause problems in their rallies and stuff like that, is exactly what they do at their Black Lives Matter rallies. There are so many implants. I mean, you saw so many white people breaking windows, setting fires, and then, next thing you know is, oh, Black Lives Matter. Look at this. It wasn't no black folks. It was a bunch of white people that was around him. Look at the film. So you like who was protesting that night? And what for? And was it just people just causing problems? But like I said, I don't know if it's going to be like an all out war if he gets off, because I think no one expects him to be convicted. Now, while we talking about Ahmaud Arbery, I think that'll be a different scenario. I think if these three white dudes get off, I don't know. It's gonna be Biden. You have to deal with this is hell that's gonna rise up, because I don't see peace. I don't see peace like a river. Just don't see it. This dude get off for if these dudes get off for chasing a black man down and lynching him. I think it's gonna be all hell that's gonna break loose. Mark my word. We'll be talking about it. We'll be back on. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here because I held y'all up way too long with my special veterans start to this. Like I said, I want to say Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, and you gotta remember, like I said, my name is Tommy D. You've been watching Fire Black Podcast, and like I said, you can visit us on fireblackpodcast.com. You could also follow us on Instagram at Fire Black Podcast, or on Facebook at Fire Black Podcast. Like these graphics, man, they be slow sometimes. You want to just flow, talk like, you know. And also, you can follow us on Twitter at Fire Black Pod CA1. That's Fire Black Pod CA1. And like I said, folks, I am so happy you came by. I'm going to see you again next week. Please drop me a line. I didn't put it on here, but I'm going to do it next week. Um, Anyone that has any tips or want to talk about stuff or want to comment about anything, you can always message me at Tommy D at fireblackmedia.com. That's Tommy D at fireblackmedia.com. And I have to say, it was a great day, and raining in New Jersey, kind of windy out here. Winter is coming. Winter is coming, and I hope it's better than that last episode of. Never mind. I ain't gonna even talk about that show no more. So I will see y'all next week. Drop me a line, go visit, and we will be back. It was pleasure. I'll talk to you later. Peace out. I am out of here.